You should always be able to spot a good event organizer at an event because they are the ones running around with a clipboard, an earpiece, and shouting instructions to everyone else at an event. This is
Let's do it.
I've been there, I've done it, and I've messed up. But I'm going to let you into a little secret. The best event organisers in the world are somewhere in the background in a complete state of zen. And that's because they've done the most important part of event organising beforehand. They've actually organised the event and informed all of the stakeholders about exactly what they need to be doing and exactly what is happening. Now that can be a challenge sometimes, especially when you're working with a new venue, new suppliers, or even casual staff, which often happens at events. But the key is to create a system from a top down. And if you are in charge of any sort of event, then you are responsible for creating and implementing that system. What might this system look like? Well, let's take the example of organising a gala dinner. Who might your suppliers be? Well, it'd be the venue, the caterers, you'd need sound and AV, you would need entertainers, you would need bar staff, you'd need security, the list goes on. And then we'd look at what our best case scenario for that event is going to be. What is our goal? Forget about return on investment for a minute. Let's keep it really simple and just say that our goal is quite simply for all the guests to be fed and entertained. The next step in ensuring that you're not running around like crazy at the event is to work with suppliers who have a system in place themselves for working or supplying this sort of event. If it's the first time you work with them, then get references, look for reviews online or interview them. Whenever I'm working with a new caterer, I always ask them very specific questions as to how they would deliver to, say, 900 guests with a choice menu, and how they'd ensure that they get dietaries correct, how they'd work from one pass in the kitchen, and how they deliver 3-course meal in 90 minutes. Now, once you're happy with the answers they give you, once you feel that you're comfortable working with them, put together a term sheet. It doesn't have to be a complicated contract from a solicitor. It could just be a simple email detailing the areas that you're expecting them to be in charge, how you expect them to manage those areas, and what their responsibilities versus what your responsibilities are. And of course, you need to negotiate a price. Once you've contracted all your suppliers, find out who the main point of contact will be for each supplier. So it could be that Katie's running like AV, Dave's running the catering side of it, and then I like to have one communication channel so all your suppliers are there in one place. It could be a WhatsApp group, it could be a Slack group, which I find really easy to use and share documents across. And if it's not you personally who will be running the event, have one event manager who will be the main point of contact for all of those suppliers. This sounds really simplified, but it all comes down to having a set of good instructions. Now, you could have been working with these suppliers millions of times before. They've done this type of job thousands of times with their eyes closed, but they'll still need to know the profile of the event, profile of the guests, any diet requirements, and any emergency contact numbers and details. It doesn't have to be a war and peace document. It just needs to be something very simple that they can understand and digest. The simpler, the better. The reason being, you'll often be working with a lot of casual event staff at these type of events who are very inexperienced, and they just need good managers who can look after them and simplify the instructions and get their messages across in a concise manner. You should almost be walking into an event seeing lots of robots getting on with the jobs with smiles on their faces. So in summary, it all comes down to creating a foolproof system, and the more that you do it, the better you'll get at it. And yes, you'll make mistakes along the way, but it should be able to eventually organize multiple events on one day in a Zen-like state. Now, a great book that I recommend that all event organizers should read and all business owners should read is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Why? Because it's all about systems and how every business should be run like a McDonald's. Because if you go to any McDonald's around the world, they are all run the same with different levels of experience and skill employees, but they all know how to work and implement the system. If you've got any questions or any comments, then feel free to DM me or drop a comment below.